Election Day is 2 weeks from today, and early voting has begun in Alaska. We continue our series of candidate profiles by looking at a three-way race for seat R in the Alaska State Senate, in which current Senator Click Bishop is not running for re-election. Mike Cronk, Savannah Fletcher, and Robert Burt Williams are running for seat R on the Alaska State Senate. Cronk says he wants to go to Juneau to solve problems.
I have been in the legislature for years, and that doesn't make me an expert in anything, and I'll tell everybody that. I think even if you're in there 30 years, it's going to be a learning experience. I have a very broad general view of our district, Senate R district now, especially with all the rural areas. What's important there is we have a fish problem, right? And so we've been working to plug away the Yukon River fish issue.
He sees energy as one of the top issues facing the state, particularly the multi-year process of lowering energy costs.
While doing that, how are we serving our rural communities, right? And so we funded the rural energy package with a lot more funding. So we dropped down on a list to get solar in some of our villages. So they're going to be saving thousands of gallons of diesel fuel during the summer. They can really shut their generators off and have solar powering their communities.
Cronk worked as a teacher for 25 years, serving on a regional school board as well.
I took a lot of criticisms for not overriding the governor's veto, but for 4 years, I have said what we're doing doesn't fund our districts correctly. Right, and increasing the BSA by $680 doesn't necessarily correlate to a rural district. It doesn't give them enough money to fund. So why I didn't override governor's veto, because the formula doesn't work for all school districts. I believe I represent 11 school districts, and all of them have a different amount of money that they would like to see.
Fletcher, meanwhile, advocates for increased education funding on a state level.
We've seen a decline in our school funding, and it's resulted in larger class sizes and losing our honors program and just things that need more support within the district and in all of our communities in this district, whether it's Galena or Glen Allen. Every single school is feeling the pinch, and I'd love to achieve a permanent increase to our base student allocation.
Lowering energy costs is another priority for Fletcher if elected.
Our energy bills, whether it's for electricity or heating our homes, keep going up every single year, and that's one of the biggest limiting factors to really surviving and thriving in Interior. So I want to lower those costs. And my third goal is to take meaningful action to protect our fisheries and our subsistence hunting and ways of life here. We've seen a decline in our salmon runs. No one can subsistence fish on the Yukon, and that's just unacceptable from a cultural perspective and from just getting food in our freezers. So I really want to take meaningful action to reverse those trends.
As a nonpartisan candidate, she hopes to bring people together.
And I'm focusing on just bringing solutions to our community versus extremist rhetoric. And I think that's where most people stand. Most of us are nonpartisan or centrist individuals that just want to get the essentials taken care of. And I will do that. And I also promise to be a great listener. Our district has the west side of Fairbanks, it has Arctic Village, it has Tok. We are a wide range of communities and lifestyles in this district, and we need a person who's ready to listen and to work with everyone.
Williams, meanwhile, says he has no desire to be in politics, but realized that made him an ideal candidate.
It would be really fun and easy for a prospective candidate to sling out a bunch of promises that they're never going to keep. I'm not going to do that. I realize I will be one person on the Senate, and I will hold comparatively little power, especially because I don't intend to join any of the coalitions. I would just simply be an independent senator, which it's strange to me that that's an unusual thing now.
He wants to keep the state's budget from growing.
Our income streams are not very flexible. It's oil revenue money and federal highway money. There's not room for growth there. And really what we're setting ourselves up for by having minimal budget surplus is a budget crisis.
Coming from a science background, Williams tries to approach issues from a rational perspective.
And a rational perspective doesn't always make people happy. I understand that, because a lot of what drives politics anymore is emotions. But at some point, we do have to step back and look at the numbers and say, is this feasible? And that's something that I am capable of doing. And I do treasure my independence, politically speaking.
Cronk, Fletcher, and Williams will appear on the ballot for residents of District R in the general election on November 5th. I'm Alex Bengal, reporting for News Center Fairbanks.